Hare Krishna. A warm welcome to each one of you to the IYS session. And today, Mataji is there here, Sukirti, Her Grace Sukirti Mataji. She needs no introduction because all of us know her very well. She has been successfully, running lot of sessions on study Gita like Chaitanya Charitamrita classes, Gita Mastery course, and many of you are attending. I welcome Sukirti Mataji for today's Q&A session, and we had posted a Google form, so there are certain questions that girls have asked there, and but then it is open to live questions also. You can ask questions in the today now in the Zoom session. So Mataji, so all over to you for the session.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I hope I'm loud and clear and I'm visible. If you can confirm and typing it in the chat window. Okay, good. Now I can see only Aparna. So I will start only when I see at least like 10 of your videos on. So let's see. Good. So Rohini has turned on her video and Shripada Gaurangi, Lalita, Divya, Deepa Priya. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 videos on. Four more to begin. Okay, Akash Patan, moderator, Niti Kishori. Okay, I'll quickly recite the Manglacharan. And after that, those of you who have not turned on your video, you can make yourself comfortable in that time and then you turn on your video. Om Agyanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivan Sadvaitam Savathutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Dangayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So happy to see all of you. No, I'm happy to see some of you because others of you have not yet turned on your video. So I can see some of you, and those of you who are not turning on the video, So it is just like all of you are sitting in my living room and we can see each other and talk is better than you seeing me and me not seeing you and talking. So it's a very informal get together in a small group, and it'll be nice if all your videos are on and we can talk. Also here, we have an opportunity that if you want to ask a question, you can directly raise your hand and I can unmute you and we can talk. So the whole emphasis is on talking. So whichever way suits you, if you feel that it is better that you are sending it in the Google form link, your question, that is fine. If you want to raise your hand and ask, you are most welcome. So we will begin with today's session. And here we have first question from Vidya. So Vidya is asking, I notice that 90% of the time I'm not being in the present moment, not only while chanting or doing sadhana. Anytime I feel my mind is not with me because of this, I'm losing my focus. Secondly, whatever I do, I automatically overthinking. This is one of the greatest pressure I'm facing and I'm losing my peace. So as I can read here, so Vidya is talking about two things. One, she's telling that she's not mindful, basically finding it difficult to control the mind. And then a lot of thoughts are coming in and that also disturbs. So the answer for this question could be at two levels. So if one, we ask about the spiritual level, and when we try to answer this question theoretically, we need to remind ourselves that we are not our mind. Just like how I'm not the body, I am actually staying in the body, but I am not the body. So similarly, I am not the mind also. So many thoughts are coming, but these thoughts, I get distracted, which means that I'm not giving enough engagement to my mind. So Vidya, I would suggest that if you can do some sort of audit, in the sense that what are these thoughts which disturb you? What and which direction your mind goes, and what is it that is troubling you? So what you're writing is not something like not a straightforward fix it solution. That way I can just tell that yes, we need to remind ourselves that we are not the mind, but simultaneously I need to get to the root cause of the problem. And to get to the root cause of the problem, I need to know that what are these thoughts which comes, and why I get so distracted. Where is my mind taking me? And is my mind taking me away from Krishna? And then we need to remind ourselves again that this is not okay. This is not okay to get away from Krishna. So that is one aspect of it. And you have also written that you are finding it difficult to focus. So is there a way out, like if we can say that, like a small little target which we set for ourselves? Like there is a technique that, okay, for next 25 minutes, I will just focus on whatever, like if I have to read a book. So I decide to myself that for next 25 minutes, come what may, I am not leaving this book down. So during that 25 minutes, I take no phone calls. I don't check my messages. I don't check anything else on internet. I don't talk to anyone. I just focus and I read the book. After 25 minutes, I take a 5-minute break. So how, to the degree it is important for me to push myself to read that for 25 minutes, to the same degree it is important for me for this technique to work, that you take a compulsory break also. So you take a break and for 5 minutes, you just walk around, you drink some water, you whatever you want to do, I mean in the break time. So you do something moving out of the activity. And then after that 5 minutes, we prepare our mind again ki, okay, so for next 25 minutes, if you want to continue reading the book, then the book. Otherwise, if you have some other thing in your mind, ki, okay, so for next 25 minutes, I'm going to focus on this. So this is how we are training our mind. We are controlling our mind by giving it small targets which are easy to achieve and which is not very overwhelming. Also, one thing which works for me is I decide what I'm going to do today. So like one previous night itself, in my mind, I am clear best is if I get an opportunity, I actually make a list. So 4, 5, 6, 10 items, whatever that I want to do. So I put it on a list that I'm clear that, okay, so tomorrow I have to do all these things, including my chanting. So all the activities which I have to do, cooking or chanting or anything else, everything comes on the list. And then I start doing one thing at a time. So I decide, okay, so my day is successful if I am able to do these many things. And then I do a thing and I cross it, and then the second thing and I cross it, and the third one and I cross it. And believe me, it gives so much of happiness just checking those things out of my list. And that is a feeling of accomplishment. That is a feeling that, yes, I am doing something. So these are some simple techniques as how we can actually focus on a particular thing. And even if something else is coming in between, then I remind myself, okay, 25 minutes is not over, or okay, so these things are yet to be done. So suppose if in my list there are some 10 items, and then somebody, my friend calls me, okay, let's go for a movie or let's go shopping or whatever. Even if she calls me, let's go to the temple, still, if I have not completed my 10 things and I see that if I go out, then I'll be missing out on those things, then I make sure that first, whatever I have committed to myself, I do those things and then I go to the next thing. So try out, Vidya. Also, if you can make a list of your problems, as in what is it that is troubling you. Probably we can discuss it separately and we can try to find out a solution. So hope that helps. There is a next question, and the name is anonymous, and it says, what to do when you are stuck in a family where your mother-in-law always behind you 24/7 for no reason. So such things happen, and especially those of you who are married would have some experience or some difficulty in this aspect of it. So again, philosophically, we need to remind ourselves that whatever is happening in my life is a perfect arrangement of the Lord. That Krishna loves me, and whatever he is doing me is for my purification. To the degree I surrender to the Supreme Lord, to that degree he takes interest in me, and he wants me to get purified as soon as possible so that I am ready for my journey back home. So if I have this baggage of my karmic reaction from lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, so many lifetimes karmic reaction I am carrying with me, how do I clean it up? Am I alone capable of cleaning it up also? So these people whom we see that they are the disturbance, whom we see that they are distracting us from our regular routine life or from taking me away from what I want to do, actually these people are there as an agent of my purification. So just like in the chemical reaction, there is a catalyst which is added, and the purpose of the catalyst is to speeden up the chemical reaction. So similarly, such people are there like a catalyst to speeden up my purification process, so that sooner I can go back home, back to Godhead. So that is understanding at the top level, philosophical level. And secondly, if we talk a little bit more about how can I handle such situation in day-to-day life. So again, Srila Prabhupada writes in Krishna book that the greatness of a person is measured by the degree of tolerance he or she shows in the provoking situation. So it is a provoking situation, and you are aware also that she would be doing such things again and again. So now how do I control it? How do I control myself basically? Because I have no control on her action. What control I have is on my reaction. So how can I control my reaction? How can I best react in this given situation so that my mental peace is not disturbed and so that I can focus on Krishna? The third thing what I can do is serve her with Krishna Prasad. So philosophy may fail, and our talking to her or trying to figure out things and sort out things and communication, it is all limited. But what never fails is Krishna Prasad. So if she would be eating prasad, if you can serve her more and more prasad, so the chances are there that she also gets purified, her heart also gets purified. The fourth thing is by your exemplary behavior. So we need to be, Prabhupada would say that my disciples are perfect ladies and perfect gentlemen. So we need to become that perfect lady and gentleman in handling such provoking situations. Taking association of Srila Prabhupada books, that is the best way because it gives us inner strength to handle that. And always remember that Krishna loves us and Krishna wants us to come back to him. And that is why it is his best arrangement for us. So hope that answers your question. Moving to the next question. Hare Krishna, this is from Pushpapriya Madhavi DD. Actually, I'm having a weird question. My Tulsi, it's been 3 times some animal or reptile who's eating all over the leaves, that too fresh one especially. So I have kept my Tulsi this time inside a box with small holes all over. Is it okay if I keep like this? Regular puja is going on, but inside cage. So Pushpa, the intent what you have is to serve Tulsi Maharani to protect her. So I guess it is okay. In fact, we see also that in some olden temples or in Vrindavan and other places, so they have this net, this thin net surrounding Tulsi Maharani so that animals don't come and disturb her. So I guess that is okay till the time she's properly ventilated and she gets enough sunlight. That should be okay. Okay, next question is, my 2 children fight. Okay, this is from Aparna. My 2 children fight with each other. At that time, I'm getting angry and frustrated and shouting on them and forgetting that they are Krishna souls. How to deal with this situation? Now, when the children, Aparna, are you here? If yes, then can you type how old are your kids? Okay, I think you are not here. Because it depends on the age of the children also, that parents are responsible to discipline the child. And it is the responsibility. We read the similar statements were expressed by Yashoda Maiya when the whole Damodar Leela happened. Okay, Aparna has responded 11 and 13. Good. So we have read that the whole Damodar Leela and Yashoda was determined to discipline the child. And then we also see Jagannath Mishra, and he says there for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that even if my son is Supreme Lord himself, yet I am his father. And being the father, it is my responsibility to correct my child, to discipline my child. So yes, that is the role of the mother and father. That is a part of proper parenting also. So the parenting would happen properly if we are able to discipline our child, if we are able to give them nice Krishna conscious values. So I do not see that there is any harm, anything wrong in you correcting the child. Now you have to check yourself as how you are correcting them. Do you educate them? Do you talk to them? And do you have that relationship where you can sit and discuss? Because 11 and 13 are slightly grown-up kids. They are not very young. So they can understand things if you so desire and if you so try. You can talk them out, you can talk to them into things, and you can explain them. Also bringing Krishna in the center, reading books, like as a family, what all you are doing, which is Krishna conscious, not alone what you are doing, but like if there is a reading time where you and your kids come together and read some nice value education books, or reading from the scriptures like Ramayana and Mahabharata, and something in common which you are discussing, that helps them in developing the higher goals of life and in clarifying the values of life, then that would be very much appreciated. Also, you have written that you get angry and frustrated. So now if we read Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse 62-63, there it talks about why a person becomes angry. So everything begins because we have some expectation and it does not get satisfied. So we want our children to behave in a manner, we want our family members to behave in a manner, and if they are not doing that, then we become angry on the child. So It's all arising from the expectation. So is your expectation as a parent proper? Like if so, that needs to be checked. And secondly, as I was saying, that 11 and 13 is a big, like a grown up kid. So rather than shouting, because okay, you are shouting, is it helping you? Shouting on children, is it helping you? If no, then leave the method and try to think about some other method which may help, because it's not working out. If it's working out, it's okay. If beating your child and it's working out, okay, but it is not working out. So then we need to find out what other parenting methods are there through which we can educate the child and we can make them understand. Also, Vijay is asking there in the chat window that what if the child is an adult? So the child is an adult, so he or she takes his or her own decision. And parents being parents and Indian parents being really so parenty about the whole thing. But then we need to bring a certain degree of detachment. So we can inform, we can educate, and then we need to distance ourselves. We cannot really like force an adult child, because he is not no longer a child. He or she is an adult. So he or she needs to be treated like an adult. And if you have anything, you can always share that you think your point of view or your thought is like that. You can express and then give them freedom. What happens is parents, because of their attachment, they try to like keep correcting the child or scolding the child or whatever, that somehow or the other the child should follow what I am saying. But we do things, we sustain those things or continue doing those things which comes to us voluntary. If somebody is forcing us, then we become agitated and we may also not like to do those things. So if the child is an adult, give that choice and respect the choice. Respect whatever choice the child is making, because you have one perspective and the child may have completely different perspective. And probably where he or she is coming from, he is right in his own perspective. So I would suggest that we give the whatever our point of view is, and then give them time and take their own decision. Rohini says, Mataji, I'm going to my son karate class. Okay. Okay, Rohini. Okay, next question is by Sindhu. When is devotion and action session coming up? Saw teaser, some awesome queries. Sindhu, we are working hard on this, and very soon we would be launching this. Somehow there are some difficulties at our end, and that's how it's getting postponed, but very soon we would be coming up, most likely next month sometime. Okay, next question is by Divya. How to see everything happening with her childishness and sense of excitement. Do keep the child in us alive amidst any situation is a challenge. Okay, so Divya is asking how to keep the child within us alive. So Vidya, there are two things you have mentioned: childishness. So we don't want childishness to be alive, but what are the good factors of the child? Those things we have to focus on. So the creative side of ourselves, that how when we were child we were creative, how when we were children we were not scared, we would not hesitate in doing things. And current time, we think so much. Like one of the question was there that she does overthinking. So we overthink so much that so many things we just don't do it. We don't do in our life because of thinking a lot. So that is what it means for the child to be alive in us, that we are creative, we are little experimental, we give life a chance, we want to do something which is extraordinary and nice, and simultaneously we need not kill the adult within us. It should not become that we become so much of child or childlike that we lose our rational part of it. So we need to maintain a balance. And for me, if you would ask me how to keep the child within me alive, so daily at least one or two activities which I really like doing, which I do for myself, which I do, like I know, like, okay, devotional service also, there are so many varieties of it. And my seniors may ask me, let's say, to do the preaching, or somebody asks me to do something else. And then my management and expects me to do certain things, but then there is certain element of it which I personally enjoy or relish. So I would say that doing some things for ourselves, so that gives us happiness. And when we are happy, then that child is more active. So we are more in that childlike state. So that is how we need to do things which gives us happiness. And of course, which is like in par with the scriptures also, not that breaking all the regulative principles that gives me happiness, so I start doing that. So not like that, but doing certain things which gives me happiness, and that is where I get my inner child into activity. So something which I do for me. The next question is, there have been occasional instances where the tulsi plant at home gets infected with insects and sometimes start to lose leaves and dry up. Should I discard the plant at that point? I'm doubtful, since tulsi is worshipable. Yes, tulsi is worshipable, so we try everything to protect the tulsi plant. So there are some organic pesticides also. So we can sprinkle, we can try with turmeric, and generally what we can do is, if it is thickly infected, then we isolate the plant so that the infection does not spread to other plants, but then we don't really uproot the plant. So we let it be, and if it dies its natural death, then we can burn off the plant. Okay, the next message is Vidya. I'm planning to do my master's in abroad. I'm concerned about the environment. Since I'm in India, I can get more association and I can be with my family and they will allow me to do whatever I wish. But if I went there, I'm afraid of association, food, habits, etc. And how can I manage my time for everything? Can you give some advice? Actually, Vidya, if that course, whatever course you are planning to do, if it is available in India also, then I would suggest don't go. We need to find out the life's priority. This particular life which we have got, where we have come in connection with devotees, association of devotees, where we came in touch with a bona fide Guru Shishya Parampara, where Srila Prabhupada is there, his books are there, ISKCON is there, every facility is there for us to make spiritual advancement. So let us channelize all of our energy in perfecting our lives in this lifetime itself. And if you talk about going abroad, so definitely there are serious challenges. There are difficulties. There would be it would be much more difficult going out and practicing Krishna consciousness than you are here in a comfort of your house. So since you are asking me for advice, I would suggest that if there is something which you can do here itself, then do that. Make Krishna consciousness your top priority. And when I say top priority, so that means that no compromises. So that would be my suggestion. Okay, there is an anonymous question which says, views on LGBTQ from Krishna conscious perspective. Okay, so Krishna conscious perspective is all Krishna himself tells directly in Bhagavad Gita, that in a married relationship also Krishna is represented by the sex which is involved for having progeny. Apart from that, no. So LGBT, the whole concept is based on so much of bodily connection, because they believe that they are in the wrong body. So as such, it is not Vedic, and there is no reference in the scripture for such thing. So that's all I would like to say here. Okay, so I think we are done with all of the questions. So is there any other question anyone would like to ask? You can raise your hand. I am here. Okay, so there are no more questions. So it was nice talking to all of you today. Also, today is International Books Day. So can you all quickly share which is your favorite book and why? I would love to hear that. Any book, whichever book, not necessarily spiritual book, any book, which is your favorite book and why is it your favorite book? Because I'm quite a bookish person. I love reading books, so I'm asking this question. So any volunteer for that? Rohini has mentioned Krishna book by Prabhupada. Actually, for Krishna book, Prabhupada said that this is the most important book what he has written. He said that everything which a person needs to know, everything is there in Krishna book and it is the most important book in ISKCON. Anyone else want to speak, want to type? Okay, Deepak Priya Rajeshwari says Srimad Bhagavatam. Vidisha says Srila Prabhupada books. Any specific book, Vidisha? Shanti, Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Santoshi, Science of Self-Realization. Subhashri Lalita, Prabhupada. So heartwarming to read all those Prabhupada Leelas. Rajeshwari, SSR, Chaitanya Charitamrit. Oh, where did it get lost? Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita. Viji Prabhupada Leelamrita. Meenakshi, PQPA. Vidya, The Journey Home, Think Like a Monk, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Bhai Bhaktivikas Swami. Vidya says Nectar of Instruction. Good, so you all are writing books by Prabhupada, and that is again amazing. That so Vilasini says The Journey Home. The book was very hopeful that when a jiva is sincere, Krishna definitely guides us in finding a guru. So we all owe so much to Srila Prabhupada that way. I mean, on this particular day when we are talking about the books, and we understand that none of us have personally met Srila Prabhupada, but then we don't feel that we have not met Prabhupada. Like I remember when I read Prabhupada, the biography of Prabhupada, the condensed version, Prabhupada, the Messenger of God. And I was like, I know this person so well. Like that feeling was there that yes, I know Srila Prabhupada. And then, I mean, personally, I really like those biographical books which talks about Srila Prabhupada, because he became my hero from the time I read that book, and he still stays my hero. And then I have read various books like What is the Difficulty? So that is also an amazing book. And then 26 Second Avenue, and then The Ocean of Mercy. So these are such amazing book which gives so much of insight and how would Prabhupada think? And like anything happen in life, if we start thinking that way, that how would Srila Prabhupada think in this situation, or what would he want us to do in that situation? So imagine if we read these books so much, then the time would come that we can actually that way receive instructions directly from Srila Prabhupada, because we would read so much that we would know that in such and such situation, what would Prabhupada would have done, or that way. Once it was by His Holiness Bhanu Swami Maharaj here in Chennai. So once it was Bhakti Charu Maharaj's Vyas Puja celebration was going and Maharaj was giving a class. So Maharaj said that Bhakti Charu Maharaj was so close to Srila Prabhupada, that after Prabhupada's departure, when there were certain areas, gray areas, where there was certain doubt and the devotees did not know this way or that way, so they would approach Bhakti Charu Maharaj that what do you think, if Prabhupada was here, which option he would have chosen, or what he would have suggested. So similarly for us, Srila Prabhupada books are there, and Srila Prabhupada's disciples books glorifying Srila Prabhupada is there. So we must read so many such books, the biographical books, so that we connect to Srila Prabhupada, we understand his mood and mission, because we are all Prabhupadanugas, we are all followers of Srila Prabhupada. So that way we start connecting with Srila Prabhupada at a completely different level, where we just know, yes, Prabhupada would have asked me to do this, or it's just like we acquire that mood of Srila Prabhupada. So that would happen one, when we read the books of the biographical books on Srila Prabhupada, and second, the letters what Prabhupada writes to his disciple. So that is another source of inspiration, because there are specific problems which his disciples would ask, and in different situation, different problem, Prabhupada would give a personalized response to those disciples. So that is again a very, very interesting way to acquire mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada. So on this day, let's all pray together that we get that mindset, that attitude, that we can understand and align ourselves with the mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada. So thank you all very much. It was wonderful talking to you. And okay, Aparna has raised her hand. Just a moment. Yes, Aparna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, at what age and how you came into Krishna conscious, Mataji?
At what age? Okay, so we have one of my interview at our IYS channel. So probably you can check the details. But yes, I was just completing my college. I was in college final year. So it was in 1997. So 1997, I was 21 years old.
Okay, Mataji.
20 years old, 20 years. Yes. Anyone else has any question? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.